Hello, hello, hello. How you guys all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. Mine's been about as interesting as it can be on a Monday. It had a 5 a.m. start this morning, so I'll probably keep this to an hour tonight instead of letting it run long. But let's do a quick roll call. Mono Miner, thank you. He was first, it looks like. New England Crypto, thanks for being here. Ryland Tech and Crypto, yes, you in fact are third. Thank you for showing up. K-Spec, thank you for being here. Magic Lucky, Troy Hall, and yes, you have your pink shirt on too. And yes, I have my pink shirt on as well. Is it pink enough for you? Should have made a poll. Is it pink enough? I think it's pink enough. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, let's see who else. Dakota Miner. Let's see here. Jacob Burgess, thank you for showing up. Mog Dog, Automatic Beats, MC, TPS Miner. Killer 65 Malibu Gaming, thank you for being here. Teaspoon Miner. Yep, get those cubelets to bed quickly. Anyway, Atomic Star, thank you for being here. It was good talking to you earlier today. And of course, my lovely wife, Sunflower Mama. Integra Guy, love that name. Thank you for being here. And I hate it when it does that. Some Goblin Loser always jumps when you get towards the end. I think it might have gotten everybody. Oh, Robert Evar 4. Sorry. DJ Mines, what's up? Lee, Paul Doherty, Rick K. All right, I think I hit everybody. Sorry if I missed anybody, but thank you guys for all being here. I had a couple things to talk about tonight, but first things first. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that's a lot of red. Maybe that's because I said I was wearing pink tonight, that it was going to be a form of pink with red and pink and all those colors. So I think this is actually quite appropriate for today, but I hope I didn't like cause it because I said I was going to be wearing pink tonight. Sorry guys, if I caused it, it's my fault, my bad. Anyway, but we've been here before, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. You guys know how this works. We all believe in crypto, right? That's why we're here. And this is the time to not panic. I always have some money on the side. So as we go up, I sell. On the way down, I buy. So yeah, I'm not always all in. So this has actually been a great opportunity. I've been talking about flux. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but this has actually been a great time for me to get up to 1,000 flux at a discount. So that's the way I'm looking at it anyway. So yeah, it's been good. So I've been buying some flux. I'm not quite up to 1,000, but getting there. At like 650 right now, 647, I think. Trying to reconnect. Reconnected. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Well, that was interesting. I just got an alert that said OBS disconnecting, reconnecting. So glad I was able to come back. That was, and I did restart the computer before this. So, and it restarted in, the right way. So anyway, so all I can say is, and if anybody watched Bitsby Trippin', what he talked about earlier today, he does the same thing. It just makes sense. Buy on the way down, sell on the way up. If you believe it's going to keep going up, then that's a great strategy of how to make sure you're continually making money. For me, I do things I basically set gaps and things like that. So even if you go from 37 where we're at right now, and you go up to 41, well, if you're selling on the way up, you're 41. Well, if it comes back down to 37, well, then you're buying again. So you're continually making money on these gaps, and it's just kind of mindless. Set your buys. This is what I do. I set my buys on a consistent basis of going down, and then I set the sells on a consistent basis going up based on those buys. So anyway, that's what I do. This is not financial advice. I'll do all the disclaimers and all that. Not financial advice. I'm just expressing what I do with the market, and it's done pretty well for me. So, okay. So anyway, so enough of the market. The other thing I have done this week is I have been, well, with the help of my lovely wife, I've been cleaning up a bit. My wife gave me a drawer in the basement. So we have a nice entertainment center with nice big drawers that have been full of VHS tapes and DVDs and video games. And so she managed to make room in at least one of the drawers for now. Hopefully I'll be able to get another drawer as well, because I think that could also help clean up a few more things. But for now, it's got most of my stuff in there. I've got the risers over here. I've got some GPU hangers in here that I don't need these anymore because of the Octominer that I'm using. And also these don't work on my current rack because these are the old type. These are the ones that worked on the Home Depot racks that I used to use. Got a couple of 4x1 or 1x4 expanders, PCIe expanders. There, a fan splitter, which I may end up using on one of my rigs. USB cables. I mean, just mishmash of stuff. Splitters, PCIe splitters over here. So just kind of trying to get a little bit organized. And then I finally got everything onto a single rack. So I got these two fans in the middle, blowing air up through the rack. So it's pulling air from the bottom rig, which works really well for the AMD. It definitely runs a lot cooler with this fan blowing above it, and then blows air through all of the hanging GPUs as well as the ones on the GPU stands. So that is I have 35 GPUs in total on this rack. So works well. And then of course I have my power meter that was made by Mr. Red Llama Crypto. Thank you very much. Again, I love this thing. And then down below it, I have the one from Mad Electron. I'm using that to monitor just the Raptorium rig, the CPU miner. So take a look at those. Oh, it's just another picture. A little bit better picture, actually. Now I have extra fans because I don't need a lot of the fans that I usually use. So that's the total power draw of everything except for the Raptorium. So trying to keep it below 5,700. If I were to add in one of these pictures, you'll see it. Anyway, what I did was I took pictures after turning each rig on. But that's a good picture of the entire front of the power meter. Like I said, absolutely love this thing. He customized it and everything for me. Yeah, I am so thankful for him doing that for me. So Red Llama, if you're out there, thank you very much. Very much appreciate it again. So good way to keep track of my entire power draw. So it also works great for that. And then Mad Electron's one. This is actually a little bit higher than what it normally had just turned on. So it was at 225 watts. Normally it runs around 200, a little bit above, a little bit below. So anyway, and I've got this one running on a 110. I needed to get a little bit of power off my 30 amp circuit. Felt it was running, just bumping up a little too close to that 80% limit. Because if you don't know, your circuit that you have coming in, the voltage will vary. It's not always just pegged at the same voltage all the time. It will vary from, mine varies from about 243 down to about 336. I'm sorry, 236. So 243 to 236. So, you think it's a small difference. It is relatively small, but it's big enough difference that if you're really pegging it up against it, all of a sudden, now you're, instead of being below 24 amps, now you're at 24.2 amps or so. So, I'm just happy to have it where I'm at it. So anyway, I All right, so hang on a second. Let me go back up, see if anybody has tagged me. The shirt matches the ETH color. Okay, there we go. That was by design. That's what you planned all along, Sunflower Mama, right? Yeah. Jacob Burgers is like, yeah, sure, an hour. Well, that is the plan. I am trying to be better about getting sleep. I took my blood pressure. It was a little high. And for me, it was a lot high. So yeah, one of the things of keeping your blood pressure down is making sure you get enough sleep. So yeah, I need to get more sleep. So especially on these mornings where I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning. So this is going to end about 9. So I'll get about 6 hours of sleep, which isn't ideal, but it's more than what I've been getting on some of these nights where I'm only getting like 4.5. So trying to take a little bit better care of myself. Baby steps, I guess. The unboxing project. Dang it, dude. Every time I try to get a video shot, one of the YouTube crypto crew is streaming. Sorry. I do this every Monday night at 8 p.m. And I'm trying to make sure that that's like clockwork. No excuses, no nothing. I don't really do any other videos except for the Saturday Night Live stream with Misfit Mining and this one. I need to start doing other videos, but like I said, baby steps. Want to make sure I've got this stuff absolutely done. Oh, and other good news, actually, I just got this about an hour ago. I have a new team lead that will be working for me. And yes, it will take time to get him trained, but at least to have one. And I'm very happy he was our first choice. So definitely very happy with that. So looking forward to having him start in a few weeks. So yeah, that is good, better times ahead with that. So, and let me see what else. Subtle flannel tonight. Yeah, I do have another flannel still planned for next Monday. So, and there's one more we need to get that will be for another special occasion. Anyway, but we'll see about that one. Anyway, alrighty. Okay, that was actually one of the subjects I was going to talk about, unboxing project. Did I get my inverter straightened out? Kinda. So for those of you that don't know, I do have a 6 kilowatt solar system on my house with a 5 kilowatt inverter. Actually, believe it or not, 20% larger system to inverter actually makes sense. Long story, it has to do with where the efficiencies are. Kind of like a power supply. You don't ever want to run a power supply at very low. So having a little bit smaller inverter means that you have more solar power in like the meat of the zone where it's more efficient, where you're getting more power through it. Anyway, but the monitoring system I am required to have. The monitoring system is required for SRECs, and I've been prepaid for all my SRECs, which means I have to prove that I'm generating solar power to deserve those SRECs. So I have to be communicating with a monitoring system so that that information can be transmitted to the company that's responsible for monitoring my SRECs, as well as everybody, as well as many, many other people's SRECs as well. So the problem is that when my system got put in, they had a 3G modem. Well, 3G is going away. I thought it was going away tomorrow because AT&T is shutting off their 3G tomorrow. Well, after having a few conversations with the person at the installer, I found out ours is Sprint. Well, Sprint's isn't going away until March 31st, so I have a little bit of time. But over the weekend, I did install an Ethernet cable to the inverter. It does communicate. After talking to the service department at my installer, he said, yeah, you're on an old software load that had that problem. It won't default to Ethernet. So we need to get you to get the new software load. So I'll talk to SolarEdge and get them to download it to you. I said, how are they going to do that? I took the modem out. And he's like, why'd you do that? I said, because I had heard that if you left the modem in and you have it hooked up to Ethernet, and your Ethernet or your actual cable connection went down, it would then try to reestablish a connection via 3G modem that couldn't connect at all, and it would never go back to Ethernet. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. That was a different problem on a different load. I'm like, okay. So he's like, well, can you put the modem back in? So that's what I did when I got home from work today. I reopened up the inverter. By the way, powering it off and everything, you have a specific power off sequence that you have to do. You power off the inverter, then you do the hard cutoff of the inverter, and then you do your AC cutoff to the inverter. So you wait when you do the inverter, you turn it off, wait about a minute or two to let it depower, basically let the power come down on it. I mean, obviously I'm doing it later in the day. There's not that much power in it, so it doesn't take that long. But I basically came home from work, walked out, immediately walked to the inverter, turned it off, went inside, got all the tools and everything I needed, and then came back out. Then by that time it would have been depowered and did all that. So I opened it back up, put the modem back in, connected up the antenna cable because I'd left the antenna and the cable in it, thankfully. And then just sent him an email, or actually he asked me to send him a text. So I sent him a text and said, yeah, it's back on. Let me know, what's going to transpire. How are we going to get the software load, all that kind of stuff. So it is a work in progress, but the good news is we have a month. Now I'm not going to procrastinate this because they procrastinated this long enough. I know as we get to March 31st, people are going to be freaking out and this guy's going to be swamped. So I'm going to try to work with him now to hopefully get it done within a week. Because I think it's going to take that time between SolarEdge. But anyway, the good news is it's communicating. The install, drilling the hole to the outside of the house, connecting it up to the router, connecting it up to, opening it up and connecting it up inside was relatively easy. The biggest problem was that the Ethernet cable wouldn't go through the hole in the bottom of the inverter. So, and that was because it was one of the, where it has, it's a kind of a thick boy on the back of the Ethernet, which has like this rubberized cover that's protecting the clip. Well, I had to take that off and like shave off that thing on the back and to make it small enough. So anyway, it went in, connected nice and easy. Perfect. So anyway, so that's the story with that. So I see Mogdog says is something broke. If you're talking about what I was just talking about, it's the 3G modem. They won't work anymore because the all the wireless providers are turning 3G off. So that is why. Rick K, Solar Rex. Actually, Killer 65 Malibu Gaming, that's what I initially thought. I did some research on it. There are definitely a lot of people that talk about you want it sized about 20% smaller than your actual panels. Especially considering that you actually lose, your panels don't consistently generate the same amounts over the life of the solar system. It's better to have it slightly smaller than your panels. So I will agree that there are definitely some differing views on it, but yes. And then there are definitely times in the summer, on my first summer, there were times where it clipped. Last summer, maybe clipped a few times because again, it came down a little bit. So before it was only clipping a little bit. Now it's basically very, very rarely clipping on the sunniest days. So there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, the hotter it is, the less efficient that the solar panels are. So you think on a 90-degree day when it's super sunny out, not actually the best day for if you can have a day around June 21st, that's about 60 degrees and not a cloud in the sky, yeah, you are going to get the highest output you can possibly get on that day in the Northern Hemisphere. So, but that's very unlikely to happen. So anyway, all right, enough about that. Different problem. Pack it with tannerite and fill out an insurance claim. I don't know what happened, officer. Yeah, it was funny because when I was talking to the service guy, he's like, get a little worried about giving all you guys information on how to do this stuff yourselves. I just don't want anybody to burn their house down. And I was like, don't worry about it. Not going to burn my house down. I know how to follow instructions and how important it is to follow those instructions to depower your inverter before you do anything. So anyway, alrighty, let's see what else I have missed. Does it require, this is unboxing project, does it require onboard monitoring, or can you use an external source via USB, micro PC, Raspberry Pi kind of thing? Could I? That's a really interesting question. I don't think so. I don't know exactly what the law is, the letter of the law is. If you start using something outside of the actual solar system inverter, it could be manipulated, is what I'm guessing. So can't really say for sure, but my guess would be no, they approve these systems to be used and they want them used as they were intended to be used. So anyway, how many panel and watts per panel? I know I have 19 panels and it's 5.99. So let's do the math. Is it 325? It's a smaller panel because I could fit more. I could fit a larger surface area of panels by going with a smaller panel than a smaller number of panels and larger panels. They were actually wanted to do the larger panels. I'm like, no, I know you have access to these smaller panels and I can fit more on my roof. I went from a 5 kilowatt system to a 6 kilowatt system by going to the smaller panels. All right, let me go to my calculator here. Calculator is 5.99 divided by 19. Yeah, like 315 watts a panel. Now, again, this is a 3-year-old system. I know that there are more powerful systems. This is a rapidly evolving technology. So yeah, teaspoon miner. Thank you. Yeah, 315 watts per panel. So anyway, well, let's put it this way. The unboxing project, I'm not going to burn my house down by my solar inverters. If I was going to burn my house down, it would be probably due to the miners if that was going to happen. But I try to keep that under control as well. But that is a heck of a lot more likely to happen than it would be from the solar panels. Yeah, mine. In fact, I did take a picture of this. What did I do with that picture? Let me see. I got it. Hang on. I'm going to take this away for a second. And let me minimize that just in case I don't want to dox myself. Let me see if I can. Did take a picture of the panel. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. I know I took a picture of it, but I don't know where it is. Huh. Interesting. That's really weird. I remember seeing it too. Unless, was it? Hang on. One moment, please. Ah, there it is. I was going the wrong direction. So that is what is on my my inverter. So operating voltage is 380 volts DC, maximum is 480. Short circuit current is 30 amps. So obviously that's maximum, and then it would basically shut off, or yeah, basically shut off. Operating current's 15.75 amps. So anyway, for anybody who wants to geek out on that. Anyway, all right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, don't worry about it. I got the tax credit. I bought this 3 years ago. So this is back when it was 30%. It was a 30% tax credit. In fact, I still haven't used all those tax credits. This year, I will use the rest of those tax credits. Pretty sure I'll use the rest of those tax credits because I didn't pay like pre-tax or anything on, well, either way, I made the past 2 years because I was building. I did not technically make money on my mining business. But yes, I was still buying last year, but I had a lot more hardware mining. So pretty sure this year I'll have made a significant profit, most likely. So I'll have to take a look at that. I have not gone through everything to figure out what my taxes are going to look like. It will be interesting. Last year was interesting because my wife's unemployment was not taxed. My unemployment for the short period of time I was on it last year. I mean, what I mean last year, I mean the last tax year. So 2020. I had a short period of time. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, short period of time in 2020 that I had, that I was on unemployment. But this past year, I was on unemployment from January through basically beginning of May. And that will be taxable this year. They didn't extend that non-taxable basis for unemployment. So, which is honestly the right thing to do. So bummer though, if you're on unemployment, it's kind of nice not having to pay tax on it. All right, let's make sure I didn't. So yeah, I got the tax credit on the panels, on the entire system. And then also got the SREX. So I only paid for about a third of the system. So yeah. And I believe now the paybacks are a lot faster. In fact, sometimes you can get them for free now. So I did it. I was a little early, but yeah, it really depends on where you're at and what incentives are available to you besides the tax credit. So ABM&S production. Stupid question, but why are you folks in the US still on 120 volt? I don't know. I think technically 240 volt is a little bit more dangerous than 120. Like you could more easily kill yourself if you zap yourself. That was what I recall, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And technically everybody has 240 coming into their house. I mean, it's two sides of your panel. One's, the middle's neutral. One side is negative, one side's positive. And so the difference between those two, the negative and positive side, is the 240 volts. And then, and I may not be saying this exactly right, but anyway, the difference is 240, but each to the neutral is 120. And so that's what most of your circuits are based on. But if you have a 240 volt circuit, then it's going pole to pole basically. So anyway, hopefully that helps. I know DJ Mines in his video talked about one phase versus two phase, and I've never really heard of two phase, but I think what they mean by that is two phase is like your 240. But again, not really sure about that. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, Chili, hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. GT man. Other day I miscalculated, thought I had to move mining rigs off a breaker, but was way wrong. I'm fine. That ever happened to you? Freaked myself out. No, not really. I had kind of always wondered, but I didn't have anything to really measure it with. So I thought I was within it. I'd been kind of calculating it, figuring out, okay, I think we're good on this. I, leave myself a little leeway. It was interesting when I got the power meter, I knew I was close. I was like, yeah, I think I'm okay with what I have on this 30 amp circuit, but I really want a power meter to be able to tell me if I am okay. And sure enough, when I got the power meter and hooked it up, I was smack dab at 5,700 watts. Little bit, you know, again, when you get that little bit below that 240 volt, yeah, then you start getting above 24. So I was right at the limit and I knew I was right there. So have I ever been surprised? Not really. But it's good to know when you have a meter. I would definitely say that. I think it was Hobbyist Miner did a video on key tools to have. Definitely having some type of power meter is very key to have, in my estimation. I can't believe I did without one for so long. Pole to pole, ew. Okay, maybe I didn't use the right words. Anyway, must have meant 3-phase. All houses are 2-phase. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All houses are 2-phase, but you're what I'm calling pole to neutral. Your one side to neutral, I guess technically is 1-phase. Yeah, and 3-phase obviously you find in commercial type of 480 volt 3-phase. Oh yeah, interesting. Kyle Rosa, DJ Mines run 200 amp panels, be cheaper. I don't know how that would work actually. But yeah, I would think that would be if you can set it up that way. Because I would think you need 2 meters. That's what I was thinking, Unboxing Project. That's exactly what I was thinking. All right. I'm right at 6,200, 6,300 on my 30 amp chili. Oh my God. You know that's dangerous, right? I mean, if you're doing that 100% of the time, yeah, I would just do this. Be feeling the cables. Make sure that they're not getting overly hot. Yeah, be careful. Be careful with that. So actually going back to that question, I'm sorry, I lost track of who it was. GT somebody, sorry. Wow, why did I somehow jump past all of these? Wow. Okay, I'll have to go back to this. So anyway, so yeah, GT Man had said this. Yeah, actually there was one time where it wasn't that I was overusing the circuit, it was the fact that I didn't have a high enough gauge on the extension cord that I was using. So yeah, that extension cord was going into another cord, and it wasn't so much the cords that were hot, it was the connections that were hot, and I had it on carpeting. I don't recommend that. So I immediately, within the next day after that, well, first of all, the first thing I did was I moved it off the carpet and put it on tile. And then the next thing I did was I upgraded that cable. So didn't have that problem anymore. Anyway, all right, enough of that. So let's see if I don't jump over everything. So how am I converting DC to AC for grid tie? So the inverter is converting DC to AC. That's what the inverter does. As far as the grid tie, it's what they call a supply side. So it actually ties in directly into the meter. And that's where it kind of 3 ways coming into the meter. It's the house, the grid, and the solar. And everything feeds as to how much the house is pulling. So obviously the solar's got to go somewhere. The solar's either going to go back to the grid or to the house. And it's kind of like, if you have water flowing, think of it as water. I mean, electric is kind of just like water flowing. So you have water flowing from solar. That has to go somewhere. So it's either going to flow into the house, but if the house says, no, there's too much resistance here, we're not going to let it come in here, then it's going to flow into the grid. And in my case, pretty much all the time, it's flowing into the house and I'm pulling from the grid at the same time because of the mining. So, all right. How do I make the page that has all the info on my channel and make it look professional? You don't want to be asking me that. I'm a complete amateur when it comes to YouTube. So yeah, there's plenty of videos out there to help you do that. but I am not the right guy to answer that question. I know how to hide my crypto on the black market. No, I don't hide my crypto. Who the heck is, well, buzzing like crazy. Oh, you're going to send me a DM on Discord. All right. Let me take a quick look at that while I'm looking at the next question. Howdy, Big Wooly. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. When are you not distracted playing Minecraft? That's what I want to know. Just tell me. I suppose when you're at work, I don't know, maybe you're playing from, you know, you're working from home. Maybe you're playing Minecraft all the time in between phone calls. Maybe even when you're on phone calls. Anyway, yeah, and then people talking about the plugs. Okay, it did it again. I hate it when it jumps when you get to the end. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Anybody who has taken electricity of some sort, you know, where you're doing resistance, voltage, current, and you do it in physics first. And physics doesn't teach it worth a crap. And then when you take a circuits class in college, it is so much easier. So much easier, where you learn Ohm's law and a number of other things that make the math so much easier. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've used that, but I still remember when I was teaching my daughter, or helping my daughter, I shouldn't say teaching, just helping her with some things. And when she was doing physics, I was like, I'm just going to tell you how to do this, because the way physics does it is completely stupid. And so, and I actually take that back. They actually had circuits. Now that I think about it, they had circuits before they had their second semester of physics. So they were all doing circuits like in physics, like they were doing it in electrical engineering, and it was making the physics teacher mad. That particular physics teacher did not like electrical engineering students because they were doing things a different way that was easier. But anyway, yeah, exactly. I just remembered that in my mind, that yes, very happy they taught us circuits first semester before physics too. Yes, made it so much easier. That's for sure. All right. I can't believe it's already 8:40. All right. I'm going to talk about a few other things here. So went over crypto prices, went over the home farm. We talked about solar. So big news, I'll say quote unquote news, because it's yet to be released. And I'm a little skeptical of the LHR unlock. I hope it's true. I really do. But why set a release date? That's what really kind of made me think, why set a release date? It's either ready or it's not for beta. So just release it. Don't set a date. I don't know. It just seemed like he was trying to get maximum scam value, possibly. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's completely on the up and up. You know, it sounds like the person's doing all the right things, because I believe it's a BIOS and a driver thing that would have to happen. He's saying that he has done that. So we'll see. Somebody will probably download it, put it into a sandbox type system, and try to use it and see what happens. So it's going to be interesting, though, is it's going to be hard to put it in a completely sandbox system, because in order to mine, you have to be able to talk to the network. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very curious to see what happens. Anyway, then the flux collateral halving is coming up. And this is where you can have as small as 1,000 flux and be able to run a node. I am looking forward to this. I've talked about this before. So I do have a Raspberry Pi Model 4B 8 gig on order with Koinly, and I'm hoping to get it soon. It still says pending, so we'll see. Like I said, might take chump change up on his offer. Sorry, unboxing project. Maximum scam value. Sounds like an awesome band name. Yeah, but okay. Unboxing project. What kind of music would maximum scam value be? Like, what kind of music would they play? They be jazz? They be hard rock? What do you think? Anyway, poll for you. Talk amongst yourselves. Anyway. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying this out. I will have to upgrade my internet, unfortunately, but hey, I'll have gigabit internet at that point. At least download, I'll have gigabit. Upload, I'll only have 35 megabytes. Right now I'm at, they actually, by the way, I don't know if you guys all knew this, but Comcast downgraded the upload speed, on us. Right now I have 600. Yeah, I have 600 service, and 600 service used to get 20 and they lowered it to 15. So sucks that they did that without telling us. So hybrid, it's like country and Western. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Punk. Okay, could be. 70s progressive rock. Sure. That could be. Grunge. I'm thinking grunge. That's what that would be my vote. Grunge. Oh, DJ Mines had a video on the LHR unlock. It looks really sketchy. I wouldn't plug it into any network at my house. Yeah. I bow to those people that are brave enough to try it. So it will be interesting to see. Let's just put it this way. I think everybody's like, okay, maybe we need to, like, amongst all the YouTubers, we need to like draw straws to see who's going to try it. Anyway, Comcast has its problems at times too. I had tons of problems from like January through like July last year. It was horrible. I was going down in January, February, and March. I'd go down 3-4 times a month. And I knew what the problem was. They needed to replace, like, I don't know, technically like the motherboard in the node, and they kept just band-aiding the damn thing. They soldered a new connector onto it. I'm like, what are you doing? You're soldering a new connector onto it in the field? Just replace it. Well, I don't have one. I actually talked to the guy when he was out there, because every time it went down, I'm like, okay, I know where they're going. And I would go out there and talk to him. Met up with him amongst all the times it went down. I met up with him like 2 or 3 times. But anyway, they weren't always happy to see me. I can't imagine why. Anyway, all right, let's see what some of these other comments are. Remember when ISPs removed their upload download caps during COVID and nothing bad happened? I know, right? Wasn't that awesome? Yeah. Anyway, well, I actually have unlimited, which with the Helium miner that does like 150 gigabytes, gigabits a month, or can do up to 150 gigabits a month. So that definitely takes a good portion of the bandwidth. And if I'm running a node, which requires a lot of bandwidth as well. So yeah, I needed to have unlimited anyway. I needed unlimited when my son was here playing a lot of games, and also not so much with my daughter now. I don't know if she plays that much in the way of games, but definitely when my son was here, I needed it. I was going over one gig, which is what Comcast has as the limit. All right. Red Fox Crypto, thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. I actually caught your video last night while it was live. Anyway, or at least portions of it. I was doing a couple other things at the time, but it was nice to finally catch you live and actually remember it. I don't know why. Well, you know, if you always did it at the same time, it'd be easier. But anyway, definitely glad I caught it last night. It's always fun. Let's see here. Okay, sorry. My daughter is actually offended that I didn't think she played that many games. Yeah, I guess she does. I guess she does. I don't know. I just always thought my son's games were more bandwidth intensive than hers. So I could be wrong on that, but I guess so. Anyway, I have not noticed any throttling at all. And, yes, I do know I'm unlimited because I have gone over that 1 gig, but I don't usually go over it by far. So, but I definitely have not noticed any throttling, and I do test it a couple times a month. Yeah, again, great. Love this community. Absolutely love this community. I remember when DJ Mines talked about this, is the fact of how different the gaming YouTube community is from the crypto YouTube community, where we all support each other in the crypto community, while in the gaming community, it's very, very competitive. So yeah. Okay, let's see. This is my first live stream of the weekend. Finally got a weekend getaway with the family and put down YouTube for a few days. That's great. It's always good. It's good to get away from things for a while. No question. I was honestly Friday into Saturday, I didn't watch any of the Saturday morning streams. I was not feeling well Friday night at all. I had a migraine. I think I went to sleep about 7:30 and woke up at like 3:30 in the morning, stayed up for a couple hours, watched some Olympics, and then went back to sleep at like 6 a.m. and woke up at 9. So I was obviously overtired, but I just had the worst headache that just would not. It was just pounding. So anyway, but yeah, body was a little bit of kind of readjusting to things over the weekend. I stopped drinking coffee. It felt like it was being a little too acidic to my stomach. So for now, I'm trying to calm things down there, the esophagus and the stomach, let things calm down, and then maybe go ease into a little bit of coffee here and there. Okay, so we're at 8:49. One last thing I have on the schedule to talk about, and that is we've heard a lot of opinions on the merge in the last week. And I know that the one everybody loves, and I love it as well, is BBT's opinion that he doesn't think it's even going to happen this year. I think that's wishful thinking. I see when you compare this to where things were as far as testing and development with 1559 and where things are with the merge, it looks like they're pretty similar. Actually, to me, it looks like the merge is a little bit ahead of where the 1559 is now. The merge is much more complicated, so the testing should take longer. So I actually think it's going to be a similar time frame. I'm thinking August, maybe best case would be October. So, but here's the thing. If we do that, are they going to extend the difficulty bomb? So if you look here, again, you're looking at October, beginning of October. Well, yeah, beginning of October. You can see that this is the last time the difficulty bomb came into play before they extended it in December. So it kicked in end of September, and beginning of December, they actually extended the difficulty bomb. So it went back to around 13 seconds. So, but in the meantime, in those 3 months, it went from 13 seconds to 13.6. That's not a lot in 3 months. So here's the thing. What you want to be watching for is, are they going to delay the difficulty bomb? If they're going to delay the difficulty bomb, yeah, we're not getting this year. I don't believe we'll get it this year. Because if you're going to delay it at all, you're going to delay it 6 months. If you're going to delay it 6 months, by the time you get to December, they're not going to want to rush anything in December. They're then going to wait until the next year. So that's the key thing to look for. If they are going to delay the difficulty bomb, they will at least delay it 6 months. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. Otherwise, my guess is I'm going to split the difference. My guess is September at this point. So not a huge delay. You're talking like a 3-month delay. I'll take it. I'd rather be mining until September than mining until June. That's for sure. So we'll see. I definitely find it very interesting that everybody within Ethereum has backed away from a specific prediction of when it's going to happen. There's a few people that are like on the outside looking in that have said, well, you know, I've worked with Ethereum for a while and everything looks good to me. And this really feels like 2 to 5 months from now we'll have, I'm like, okay, but you're not on the inside. You're not a developer. You're not the person working on this. Honestly, my opinion, their opinion, none of this means anything. They're the only ones that are going to know. With all that said, though, if you've ever, I mean, all you gotta do is look at development projects, games, for instance. I mean, how many times have games been delayed? Yeah, they got bugs. If they have really hard bugs to solve, then yeah, it's going to get delayed. So the real question is you don't know what you don't know. At this point, they don't know what they're going to find as they're going through things. So that's why I think they're backing away from a specific prediction, is just because of the unknown. And it's better to not predict at all than to predict wrongly. Because if they predict June, then they're going to be like, oh, here we go again, another delay. If they predict September or October or December, and it ends up being early, you know, then you have miners that are going to be angry. Well, you said. So that's why I think they're just flat out staying away from it, making sure they don't make anybody mad by saying it. So anyway, that is my 2 cents on that subject. I know my personal opinion, prediction. It's not really an opinion, because an opinion is like an opinion on fact. There is no fact here. It's a prediction. And I know my prediction is earlier than others, but we'll see. So anyway, all right. So let's see what we got here. What did I miss? Yes. I stopped drinking coffee. You don't even know me anymore. I don't even know me anymore without coffee. Yeah, I know. It was hard. And I mean, I used to drink 3 cups a day. And going from 3 cups a day to nothing, yeah, that hurt. Because I had 2 days afterwards, I was like just dead tired the whole day. I just needed that jolt. And like I said, a couple days after that was just absolutely hammering headache after work. So hopefully that's the end of it for now. And like I said, I'm not saying I won't go back. It's just had some heartburn that wasn't going away. So I decided to limit my chocolate intake, limit my coffee intake, anything acidic. I was trying to keep it at a minimum, making sure I don't eat as close to bedtime as I have been in the past, which is just better for health anyway. So all of these things I'm trying to do to try to, and honestly, it has helped. It has helped. It was, it feels a lot better, and still has a bit ways to go, but I think in a week or two, it'll probably be back to normal. So anyway, let's see. What else did I miss? I had Red Fox Crypto. I had a client that actually used an umbrella in a server room with sprinkles in it at the top of a 40U server switch rack. True story. Why did they use an umbrella with sprinklers in it at the top of to cool it off? Water's bad with electricity. I'm not really sure I understand that. I'm probably not completely understanding that correctly. I know coffee equals life in the morning. I get it. I get it. I love my coffee in the morning. It is a very, very hard thing to give up. It was one of those things where I was kind of like, well, I could just give it up for Lent. So I don't know. Right now I'm giving it up for health reasons, and we'll eventually go back to it. Don't know if I'll go back to it in the same amount, but T-Miners got his new L7. Nice. Congrats. Yes, somebody's asking, is it up and hashing yet? Yeah, that is what everybody wants to know. Magic Lucky Buzzkill. We don't want to know the truth. We can't handle the truth. So the FHR BIOS unlock is legit and the ETH merge is Q3 2023. Sure. And go bury your head in the sand. But hey, that is the dreamland. I mean, I'm sure in some dimension that's going to happen. Oh, what is Atomic Star teaching Sunflower Mama? I missed something. All right, they can fill me in later. Because neither of them tag me in their conversation. Fine. So Paul Doherty asks, if they extend the difficulty bomb, what do you think the odds of the block reward staying at 2 ETH? Honestly, I don't think they're going to change at this point. I think they would leave it at 2 ETH. It's just one of those things. Why at this point? Why would you decrease it at this point? I know, yeah, because they could. Sure, they could. I don't know. I don't see that really in the cards, especially with the it's not deflation, but the reduction of the overall ETH creation through mining with 1559 is a lot less. So the unboxing project, ETH POS is the running joke of crypto. How many times has the industry had the same convo? Too many. Agreed, which is I think why they're not giving a prediction at this point, because they figure if they don't give a prediction, they can't like set this line in the sand where everybody's going to say, oh, here we go again. And they don't want that to happen. They'd rather have everybody just wondering when it's going to happen. So we'll probably know about 2 months beforehand when it's actually going to happen, because that's when they'll start planning everything and they'll say what block it's going to happen. And all of those things will start occurring. You'll start hearing those things on the All Core Devs call and the consensus calls that Ethereum has. Oh, wow. It jumped again. Yeah. Unboxing. When the code is frozen, then we perk up the ears. Yeah. If you remember the way 1559 was, the code was never frozen. Remember when they did 1559, the actual clients weren't even coded for it. They basically had 2 weeks to prepare, maybe 4. But a lot of the clients did not have the code to implement 1559. They were still running under the old rules. Now they still could run under the old rules, but they didn't have anything implemented. This time they can't do that. They have to have all the clients online, or at least most of the clients. So they definitely want a diverse client base. They don't want it just being Geth and Nevermind, or Nevermind. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, they want other clients to be online as well. So that's really, I think, where Ethereum can do their code, but if the clients don't cooperate, they can't do anything. So they're going to cooperate. It's just how fast they're going to cooperate, but they have no control over the clients. So that's another part of this that is really, really hard for Ethereum folks to predict. Now, I will say that they've definitely brought them in much, much earlier into the process than they did with 1559. So they've already, the clients have been very much interacting with the test nets. So yeah. So anyway, but that's another reason why it's very, very hard to predict. So ABMNS says there is actually a real incentive for them to do not provide any specific date. POW is still the main security of the network. Yeah, that's the other part of it, is if once they provide a specific date, one of the things they're scared of, I shouldn't say scared of, game theory basically says that when a person knows that a reward is going away, they may retaliate. And so that is one of the things they're trying to do, is they're trying to say, how do we make sure that the mining community, all these people that have supported the network for years that we're now turning off, that they don't retaliate? How do we control that? And they basically say, again, because it's game theory, they're not saying that everybody's a bad person. They're saying that that is game theory. You have to take it into account. So I think that's part of it as well. They don't want to give people too much notice of exactly when it's going to happen, because if they do, then that gives too much time for people to conspire to do what they're going to do. So if everybody, once they found out, decided that they were just going to literally shut off all of their rigs prior to the merge, yeah, that would really screw up their plans. Now, could that happen if given enough time? I suppose. I think it's highly unlikely, but the less time somebody has to coordinate that, the less likely it is to happen. So I think that's part of it. Could this be a switch in the middle of the night? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, that honestly, in my mind, that would be their best move. Keep it quiet. Tell everybody, I don't know when it's going to happen, and literally keep it within a small group and make the switch in the middle of the night without anybody knowing it. That would be their best move. I hope that's not what they do, but I think that's their best move, because that way it takes all that conspiring out of it. So I don't know. Maybe they'll give us 2 weeks notice, 1 week notice. I don't know. So should be interesting. I don't think they can actually do that though, because of the infrastructure. There's too many players in the infrastructure that have to prepare. So including all of the, so one of the things that's going to happen is there's going to be I believe a hard fork in the beacon chain to prepare for the merge. So basically there's going to be the hard fork in the beacon chain that says, okay, now whenever this comes, we're ready for it. So that it won't have to actually do anything. It's like basically primed and ready for when Ethereum switches over to proof of stake. It's just got basically like these grabbers just ready to grab whatever comes. Maybe I'm not stating that correctly, but that was my understanding, is that needs a hard fork first. And that may have already happened actually, but I don't think so. And then once that happens, then the actual proof of stake can happen too. So that's another thing to look out for. Jacob Burgess, I mean, miners are already mad because they are going proof of stake. Yeah. And but the thing is, miners are going to mine it into the ground because they want to make money. It's one of those things. What are you going to do? Rude Boots, a pink shirt. Yeah, it's very pink, isn't it? My wife actually changed my my lighting setup a little bit tonight to make sure that the lighting didn't take any of the pink away. So, eat the chocolate covered espresso bean. So chocolate's another thing that I've limited. If I'm eating a little bit of chocolate, it's only a little bit. So that's another thing that they say to take out of your diet. So I've taken a bit of that out. Crypto and Men's Health Channel. CBS Miner, that's funny. Oh, the sprinkler system was leaking. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sprinkler system's leaking, so you put the umbrella over it to make sure it doesn't. Got it. That makes way more sense. Yeah, like we ever do anything for Lent. Yeah, we don't really do anything for Lent, but I don't know. It was one of those things where it was a tie-in. I know it probably wasn't about me, but it would have been nice to know what my two family members are talking about. You're almost at an hour now. No, I'm actually over an hour now. So I'm gonna be wrapping this up shortly, but I definitely want to take everybody that's tagged me. Would it even be public if the code were frozen? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it depends on their strategy. They could freeze the code without telling anybody, without telling anybody outside. But again, it would be really, really hard with how open. They would have to close their meetings. They literally would have to close their meetings, or have them be some type of front and have other meetings in the background, which they already have other meetings in the background, but they would have to change the way that they do their meetings if they were going to do that. Anyway, I was just throwing it out there as a maybe this is one way they could go. That's all. Not that they would go that way. I don't think that they're going to go that way, but yeah. Well, yeah, I think code is law doesn't mean jack squat to ETH devs. Yeah, i.e. ETC. Yeah, that was a long time ago when that happened. Yeah, I don't know. I would say some of the people that are involved in the all core devs group are definitely code is law. But yeah, I think it's more about the as long as the right outcome happens type of thing. I definitely would think, I don't know. Again, without having another instance come forward that would test that if code is law or not, we'd have to see that. Like I said, I think there's a lot more, a lot different players than there were, you know, even say 4 years ago when that happened, 5 years ago when that happened. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. All right, let's, oh, I hate that. It jumped again on me. Okay, there we go. Well, thank you, Red Fox. I appreciate that. I know it's funny. My boss always says, you dye your hair. Like, no, I don't dye my hair. I am very good genes that I do not have gray hair. If I were to grow my beard, because I have grown that recently, and that's got gray in it. Did I learn how to C-walk yet? I know what C-walk is now. I'm definitely not going to be learning that. That is true. Dark chocolate is much better for you than milk chocolate. And I do like dark chocolate, actually. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. Good point. Imagine the only requirement would be to let everyone involved in the upcoming staking process updating their clients secretly. Yeah. And the odds of them being able to do that secretly is, yeah. The thing is they could have everybody update their clients ahead of time. So it's ready. The clients are ready. And as long as that was the case, they wouldn't even have to tell the clients that they were changing. So I don't know. Just like I said, just was kind of thinking about it, and I don't know. Zoltan's secret meeting. Zotac is all I can think of with that. Yeah, Teaspoon, you going live tomorrow? I would think you would. Hey, Rabid Mining, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. New LHR unlock scam. It has all the markings of a scam, because if it was ready, why would they release it on the 26th instead of just releasing it slowly, just saying, okay, it's available here, and trickle it out? Well, they do it because they want everybody to download it on the first day, which would be maximum whatever they're trying to do. So that's the part that has me thinking total sketch. And all you need is the YouTube community to talk about it. Here, I'm talking about it. But the question is, are you willing to test it, Rabid? Are you? Anyway, we all want you to. I was saying earlier about drawing. Nope. Sorry, it just makes me think of what is it? What is that thing called? The nope rope, and she may not hear me in there. Anyway. I can't think of what it's called, but anyway. Yeah, everybody's like, Rabid, do it. Anyway. So somebody will most likely be too curious and try it out and let us know whether or not it is for real or not. So I don't know. The big sketch for me was when he makes it sound like he or she, I mean, Sergey, as I'm guessing it's a he, says that like it almost makes it sound like the same driver for Linux and Windows. And we all know it's not the same driver. So why? Anyway, that whole thing about the driver part and, oh, just installing it in Hive OS without any specific instructions and just referring to a text file. Yeah, I mean, it makes me really sketchy even to open up those. You download it and you open up the text files. I'm kind of sketched to even do that because you don't know. You don't know what's in those files. They could, have something in those. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Lucid Chart. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. If you guys haven't ever checked out Lucid Chart's commercials, go check out Lucid Chart. They are the funniest commercials. Our family enjoys them and we watch them because they're entertaining, not because they're a commercial for Lucid Charts. So anyway, I don't think you can flash a VBIOS unless it's signed by NVIDIA. Yes, unless you have some way of fooling it. So it is interesting. You can actually create your own custom BIOS. You just have to submit it to NVIDIA, who will then give it back to you. So unless this person has found a way to spoof that, I don't know. So anyway, oh, there you go. Unboxing project. Sounds like you haven't figured out. Why don't you do it? VLAN in a sandbox virtual machine. I like it. Yeah, do it on a AWS server. Could you imagine somebody does this on an AWS server and takes AWS down? That would be hilarious. I'm sorry. That would just crack me up if that actually happened. Anyway, hey, hobbyist miner. Somebody just said you showed up. I didn't actually see you up here, but there you are. Never late. Although I am just about to wrap up. I am going 15 minutes over, but I said I was going to keep it to an hour tonight, but I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I know that, like I said, I know that they do have the ability. You can create your own BIOS and send it to NVIDIA. They look at it and approve it or not approve it based on what you've done. So yeah, you will definitely not see me, doing this. That's for sure. And yes, don't forget to do the thumbs up. And if you're new here, if you can subscribe, that would be great. That would be great. Hopefully, I'm trying to figure out if I can get the thing. I know Red Fox and Chump Change both implemented some nice things where when you get a super chat or you get a subscriber, that they remember that they come up and it actually shows it on screen. So I definitely would like to get that. I actually recently switched from Streamlabs back to the original OBS. And I did it because of some of the sketchy things that Streamlabs was doing. So, but maybe I'll go back if that's the only way I can get those features. So we'll see. Unboxing project, AWS server. Challenge accepted. You get $200 credit with a new email address and burner credit card number. Oh yeah. All right. Well, unboxing project. Hey, do you have a YouTube channel? Because definitely you need to tape that when you do it. Do it on live. That would be wonderful. ABMNS says remember when Igor Labs managed to bypass AMD BIOS security for the RX 5000 series? AMD clearly made sure it will be more difficult for the RX 6000. Yeah. That is definitely true. It was way easy to modify the BIOS for 5000 and earlier series of cards. Although, what difference does it make? I mean, it's not like if we ruin our cards, we ruin our cards. So anyway, no, that's going to be a lagging indicator, TPS miner. I'm not surprised that the ETH network hash rate hasn't started to drop. I mean, you'll notice this when, well, it'll be interesting because when ETH goes away, you won't initially see this. You'll see initial large spike in other hash rate, but there's going to be this hash rate out there where people just aren't paying attention to, and it's just going to be sitting there hashing at nothing. So I think that's kind of what's happening here. People aren't paying attention to their profitability. So if they've got 30, 40 cents, cost of power, then yeah, they may not be very profitable. The other thing is it's going to level out before it starts to come down. Remember, it's been growing. It needs to level out before it would start to come down. So I initially would see a leveling off, or at least a slower increase, a lower slope to the increase in hash rate. No, that's right. I'm not even going to get involved in those. Let's see who else. Alrighty. All right. I have gone over where I said I was going to go. So again, I really appreciate you guys all coming. It's always fun. Glad you liked the pink shirt. What's interesting is Rondi was the one that requested this, and he's not even here, but hopefully he will catch it in reruns, in the replay. So anyway, I already have another new flannel for next Monday, and then I will have another one. Hang on. Yeah, probably another 2 weeks after that one, I will have another one. So I don't know what I'll be wearing on the 7th, but I'll have something special probably on the 14th. So anyway, alrighty. No, the unboxing project, I have not subscribed yet. Shame on me. I will look you up and I will subscribe. I didn't know if you had a channel. I'm hoping that means you have a channel. Anyway, alrighty, guys. Well, again, he was busy tonight. I screenshotted a pic to him. All right. Thank you very much, Brian Hollywood. I appreciate that. Anyway, alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Again, if you like this kind of content, please press like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And again, I will be back here next week at 8 p.m. And every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or as Crypto Mikkel says, cool standard time. So again, thank you, everybody. And you guys all have a wonderful night.